All right, how's it going? We are Dream Team Construction, and we are here to talk to you about the NAU Student Academic Success Building and our steel scope that goes along with it. A quick introduction. I am the project executive, Graydon Kreger. We have Taylor Blea as the superintendent, Evan Rosenblum as the foreman, and Nathan Black as our project manager. A quick overview of our presentation. We're going to go over the project understanding, then talk about our project phasing and schedule, talk a little bit about our risk, our project cost, and then do an executive recap. Our project overview is we're doing the NAU, the new NAU SAS building on NAU's campus. It's going to be built right next to a parking structure, right in the heart of the campus, and it's 789 tons of steel. This is going to be steel framing, moment framing to be more exact, and we're going to have metal decking.
As Graydon said, the two scopes of work that we're going to be performing on this job are steel framing and steel decking. When you're performing steel framing, it's very important to take into account beams, girders, columns, connections, plates, and bolts. Those all go into steel framing. In addition, steel decking is a very important scope of work for the schedule because once you get the steel decking on, it allows many other scopes of work to start.
Alrighty. In our delivery plan for this, so we will be outsourcing all of our steel to Schuff Steel Company, and they will be driving down Interstate 40 and then turning on to East McConnell Drive, which then they will be weaving through campus, going all the way to the SAS building, as we can see on the diagram on the right-hand side with the red circle. And then our site logistics plan. So here we have on the on University Drive, we have our crane that will be going left and right on the roadway to erect it. We have the building pad, which we marked in red, where the erection will be happening. We have our laydown area on the right-hand side of that picture. Our main site access will be a little bit further on San Francisco Street, and then our crane assembly area will also be on San Francisco Street, right next to that main site access point.
To get into the phasing, we're going to start our first phase on the north side of this building here, and we're going to have the crane set up all the way on the north with the steel truck on the roadway there. And on our first phase, we're going to start from the ground and go all the way up to the top. Moving on to phase two, it's going to be very similar to the first phase, but this time we're going to have the crane on the roadside and the steel truck right behind it so it can swing over and grab the steel to erect it. And similar to the first phase, we're going to have it start on the ground and go all the way up to the roof. This will be the same for all our phases. We're just going to make our way down towards the south end of the project, but every single time we're going to start erecting from the bottom and go all the way up. Same with here, start with the bottom, go all the way up, have our steel truck very close by so we can pick the pieces right off and erect them. And then finally we'll reach phase 5 here, our final phase, and then we'll be done with the project. Our project schedule, we're looking at 122 working days with about 55 days of pre-construction. We're giving about 40 days for the fabrication of our steel, about 16 days to mobilize it to the construction site, 20 days for construction and the erection of all our steel, and then about 6 days for demobilization. We're hoping to start construction by March 4th, 2022, and if everything goes well, we're going to be finished erecting our steel May 10th, 2022.
For our operations chart, we have the project manager as the head, then the superintendent, followed by the foreman and the employees. For our project risks, there were two main risks that we established. The first one being the weather delays, as it gets very cold in the wintertime and it is going to be delayed due to some snowstorms. The next big one is the campus activity. A lot of the students are going to be around the area, and we have to be very cautious of them and where they're walking. For our project cost, we separated it into two main categories. We have the structural steel framing and the metal deck. The structural steel framing consists of the beams and girders, the steel connections, columns, deck, the slab support, and the column base plates, and that comes out to a total of about $3.5 million. And then in the metal deck category, we have a composite deck, the roof deck, accessories, and shear studs, and that comes out to about $740,000. So adding those two up, we get about 4.2 million. Then we also had to include the overhead, tax, and profit. We had an overhead of 5%, a tax of 3%, and a profit of 10%. So when adding all that in as well, the project comes to about $5.1 million. So to sum it up, we have a total project cost of about $5,086,291. The start date will be March 4th of 2022. We're going to have about 789 tons of steel, and it will take about 20 construction days to complete.
All right, thank you very much. We're Dream Team Construction.